not in no particular order, just as they come to my head. You've done. Actually, that's one of my favourite memories from this year was you coming to Guanajuato for the Sarah race. That was so cool having you there. I
loved it.
That was really brilliant, wasn't it? It was. I loved it. It was so cool having...
If the organisers are watching, I'd love to do it again, please, because it was great. You're riding through people's houses that one of your best mates has built. It was
a mega year, wasn't it? And then explain what it was like.
Olly builds the course with some other legends and also tests it. So you know it's sound by the time you get there, but to turn up as his buddy and get to walk the track with you and be like, how'd you do this? How'd you do this? How does this work? What's that like? Like the one out of that living room.
Oh, mate.
It was so narrow. It was a little wider than a set of bars, but you had to turn and pedal wheelie off this drop. That was the toughest thing on the track for me, 100%. But you had done it a few days before to test it, and they had a door frame still in that you then had to remove because it was so narrow. The idea
but
that
you're being really
like
kind. Okay, so you're being really nice.
I know you're going to defend yourself, but that's a big deal.
Okay, but
testing things is really tough.
Yeah, agreed. But I have the pressure is different for me than it is for you, and like actually you turning up really made me realise that. It was like seeing you and seeing how cause it's so overwhelming, isn't it? You just bomb to the top in the back of a pickup. You've got your helmet with you, and you've just got to walk down this street.
Yeah.
And then next lap of it, you're going back up and you start riding it. I had each individual feature separately. I've got people around me to stop cars, and well, you had that as well. But I mean, what I mean is, I think
it is overwhelming.
Yeah, really overwhelming.
A normal race venue.
Yeah. On
practice days, even at World Cups and big events, there's not really anyone about.
Yeah.
Between the start hut, other than filmers and photographers and marshals, between the start and the finish, there's no one else really.
Yeah.
There might be some people on teams that like film lines and things. But it's quite a quiet thing. These street races, it's full of residents, you know, that are loving it. They all actually do love it, don't they? Watching
big
and
time,
things.
yeah.
And that's constantly there. There's no race tape.
Yeah.
There's no... So you don't have those sort of track limits that you're not interested in anything beyond the tapes. You're like... There's just street turnings everywhere. There's so much going on. So it's quite easy to overlook what the actual job of the weekend is, which is to ride the track between two walls.
I think you did brilliant. First one, I think it'd be the hardest thing to come into and like knock out of the park first time. Do you know what I mean? Like
setup's wild.
Yeah, okay. So
rid of my whole life on dirt, where your tyres, your knobs of your tyres actually go in the ground and work. And suddenly you've got, like, riding downstairs is bizarre, because if you've got a kink in the stairs and you need to turn, your whole life you turn and push against the dirt, which turns you. But on a set of stairs, your tyres only touch the floor for 1 or 2 millimetres every 12 inches, right?
Yeah.
And you can't turn on thin air, so you can only apply the turning forces, if you like, to that 1 or 2 millimetres every 12 inches.
Crabbing sensation.
So you can't turn properly.
Yeah.
And what's worse is, if you turn on stairs, naturally your tyre wants to square up perpendicular to the stair. So you're trying to turn down them, and every single one that you hit's trying to straighten you up. You know that feeling?
Yeah,
so that's so weird. And then you just drift. And when it gets bad is when it starts to go out of shape. I actually didn't crash while I was there, I don't think. But what I've noticed is watching the live feeds and watching other riders is when it starts to go wrong, it's normally a big crash.
Yeah.
There's no like drift and then you settle. If it's concrete or tarmac, normally a drift is a crash, because it doesn't like bite. It's just gone. And the stairs, people that crash and like start to go weird on the stairs crash. It's just like high.
And the crashes are just so unforgiving, aren't they?
Yeah,
so unforgiving.
Edges and
you'd like to do more though?
Yeah.
I'd love
when
to do
can
more.
you go to a country like that or a place like that?
Dude, yeah.
Like, yeah. So, we were talking about mandatory things, weren't we? It's probably hard for people outside of that event to go and ride down the streets of a South American town.
But we're talking about...
in terms of
obviously,
things that are accessible.
Okay, so in terms of other things...
Slovenian mine.
Yeah.
With Anne, a mountain bike nomad.
What about Hardline?
Mega Avalanche. Oh, Tasmania's coming up. The Hardline in Tasmania.
Yeah, I just want you to talk about Hardline because I think it's having you at Hardline is like, I think probably everyone listening would agree. It's like having a mate there that can tell you what it's really like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what your videos are to me. It's like, oh yes, Jono's at Hardline. Your content. If you think about this year.
This year was tough because I presented last year because I hurt my ankle and couldn't ride.
If you want to see more, just click here, is it?
Yeah, it's up there. Should be up there.
About there.
Yeah, about
and
there.
then there's other ones here.
Other ones there that you might like.
We're all looking after each other, and that's Christmassy, and that's the Ride Companion.